Hello, my name is Tuesday Flanders. I'm the mum of Chikayzea Flanders. My son was admitted to Fulham Boys School in September, start his fresh new life in year 7. And the first thing he was greeted with is a teacher pulling him out of class, telling him his hair needs to be cut. Not one teacher, 2 teachers, all coming to my son telling him that he has to cut his hair. Eventually I had a phone call during midday telling me that my son's hair needs to be cut. Basically the phone call was like, "Good afternoon, Mrs. Flanders, we have a problem." Which to me, telling me I have a problem is very heartbreaking and very scary. Then she went on to say to me that my son's hair is not up to school standards and it has to be cut. So I went on to say to her that under no circumstances I'll be cutting my son's hair. This is his religion and this is who he is as a child and who we are as a people. It was a continued dialogue back and forth in the sense that I asked to have a meeting with the headmaster. Myself and my son's dad came to the headmaster. We tried to explain to him basically this is not a hairstyle because he keeps saying it's a hairstyle. It's just a fashion. And we tried to educate him and tell him it's not a fashion. It is who we are. We are Hebrew Israelite people. We are Rastafarians. You cannot tell us to cut our hair. It clearly says it in the Bible. It talks about locks in the Bible. It talks about no shaving of the hair in the Bible. Okay, so it clearly says it. And the headmaster refused to accept that. Okay, basically, they didn't exclude him straight away. When I sent my son to school, they took him and put him in isolation. Put him in isolation on the first Monday he arrived at school. And then they gave him a Bible to sit down and read to answer questions. Okay, now, I don't know why they will do something like that. You'll have to ask them. But for me, that was very heartbroken. And they continued doing that until the day I stopped my son going to school because he literally begged me to stop. More support so that they can see that we mean business, to see that we will not stand for them having a policy that says no dreadlocks and no braids. It is wrong, it is illegal. I can't speak about the illegal side because I'm not a lawyer. But as far as I was aware of, it is illegal. And I would like it to be changed. As a mother, I see it as a bit of both. I just see that the gentleman needs to be re-educated. Okay? I'm not going to call anybody a racist because I don't know him personally. So I'm not going to accuse him of that. But I can clearly say to you, he needs to be re-educated into the culture of black people, of African people. He needs to know things. And because he doesn't seem to know a lot of stuff. I have already moved my son to another school, so he has been accepted with his hair, his religion, and everything in another school. But I still want this protest to go on, and I still want this policy to be changed. As a young man, the first time it happened, it really affected him very badly. But I have been working with him. I have comforted him and tried to show him that not everybody is like that. You know, there's some people that are just ignorant. And they don't know, I don't know how to put it, but they're just ignorant. That's the best way I can put it. And otherwise than that, he's fine. I want him to remain a child. I want him to learn to be a child, to go back the way he was, and to him to stay being a child. So all these things that are happening today, he doesn't know about it because I haven't discussed it with him. And my son doesn't watch the news. He watches more cartoons. So I can't see him actually knowing what's going on today. Unless one of his friends tell him, "Oh, your mom was on TV." That's about it. You know, at the end of the day, this have affected my little boy, and I don't want this to happen to another child. And a lot of parents I've been finding out today is, you know, things like this is happening, and they're not saying anything. And I did this because I was hurt and because I was angry. But I'm happy that I did this. I want our parents to open their eyes and start fighting for your young children. Start fighting for them. That's the only how they can learn. It's the only how they will know to stand up and be counted for. Like, we have to fight for them as parents. We need to stand together. That's what I will call for. I will call for all parents to contact me. Let's form a union. Let us form a union as parents, especially mothers. I tell my son sometimes, all my boys, because I have 4 kids, I tell them, mothers are the closest thing to the Creator. We bring forth life, and no one should hurt our kids, so we need to stand together.
My name is Brother Leo Muhammed. I'm a member of the Nation of Islam. I've been very active as an activist within this country, trying to help our people to come together and to do something for ourselves. I came here today really primarily with 2 reasons in mind. The first one, to really support the mother and her son, who has been expelled from the school because of his Rastafarian religion and the way in which he chooses to wear his hair. I really don't believe that this is something that is legitimate by the school. I think it's more of the same. I can remember my own son in his school being told, and we as parents being told, that in fact we cut our child's hair too short. So on the one hand, the hair is too short. In this case, evidently the hair is too long and it's locked. And the reality is that doesn't matter what we do as black people, we're constantly going to be told that we don't fit and that we're not right, and we're going to be rejected. And so the second reason for my being here today was really to impart a message to our people that the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan, on the 22nd anniversary of the Great Million Man March, which took place in 1995, the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave a message entitled "Separation or Death." Because, brothers and sisters, if we don't appreciate that this constant trying to force ourselves into their schools, into their institutions, into their systems, it literally means the death of us. It means our death spiritually, our death socially, our death economically, our death in terms of our family structures. We cannot afford to continue this really sick idea of integration, which in a sense means that we disintegrate among ourselves. Whilst we are integrating into somebody else's reality, we are disintegrating into our own reality. And so my message to us is that as a people we must come together. We've got to stop this idea that somehow, in order for us to make progress, we've got to be other than ourselves. That cannot work. We've got to be ourselves. We've got to be the change that we want to see. We've got to be the people who actually show the love, show the care, show the desire for unity that we want to see. We're the ones who are going to bring this about. Nobody's going to do it for us. Nobody's going to come and rescue us. Nobody's going to help us. We've got to stop putting our faith in institutions which for over 400 years have never done anything for us. And so this was the 2 main principal reasons why I came here today. And, if you look at the turnout of our people, it was really abysmal. And I'm not surprised, because at the end of the day, as I said, we are still not appreciative of the fact that our unity is the key to the solutions to our problem. The fact that we have to stick together. Other communities do it without anybody having to teach them or cajole them into doing it, because they have what's called self-interest. They recognize that they have to have something that they can call their own. But unfortunately, black people have been mostly miseducated. Even the so-called educated ones among us, we've been miseducated out of our self-interest. And so that's why I'm here, and I pray that this message will go further than the small turnout that was here today, and that those of you who hear this will recognize the need for us to come together. And come 2018, we intend to really start making an impact in this country and in the Western Hemisphere to bring about change for our people. So thank you very much for listening to this, and I pray that what we had to say is of benefit to you, and that you got something out of it. May the Creator continue to bless, guide, and protect each and every one of us. I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Greetings and good afternoon, London, UK, international. This is Cheryl Phoenix from the Black Child Agenda down here at Fulham Boys School, supporting Tuesday and Chikayzea Flanders. We're here today to basically let the school know that we're not standing for racial discrimination, we're not standing for bias, we're not standing for allowing the school to determine how a young man's hair should be. He has locks as part of the Rastafari community, and they have discriminated against him based on this. The Black Child Agenda as an organisation, we work to support parents and young people who go through discrimination processes in the education system. We have thousands of cases on our books where discrimination is an issue. Racial discrimination is a problem in UK schools. It needs to be challenged, and as a community we're out here challenging it. Every day we see issues like this, whether it's a girl with an afro, whether it's a boy with braids, and schools like Fulham Boys School cannot continue in the same vein that they're continuing at the moment. Your policies are discriminatory, your policies are unlawful, and we are here to challenge them. The Black Child Agenda was set up because of this. I've been through it myself as a parent with my own son who was here earlier, and we're sat here to say that you cannot continue to discriminate against black children. You cannot continue to put them in isolation. You cannot continue to prepare them for the prison cells, which is what you do by putting them in isolation. You're not going to continue to put them in pupil referral units, which are commonly known as the dumping ground, particularly for black boys. We see the effects on our street of black children who have been excluded from school. The majority that we know that are stabbing, that are killing, that are part of gangs, happen to have been excluded from school. This has to stop. The policy has to come from straight at the top of the government and has to be looked and passed down to all schools. Something drastic needs to happen. Today's protest is the start of this. We're going to continue. The Black Child Agenda is not going anywhere because discrimination has not ceased, and until it ceases we'll be here every day. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope to see you at the next protest or support the Black Child Agenda. And if you'd like to support the Black Agenda financially, we have a GoFundMe page, gofundme.com/Black Child Agenda. Please donate to our cause because it covers all our costs of travelling up and down the country, being able to go and support parents, being able to train advocates, being able to hire venues so that we can hold conferences. We do have another conference coming up on the 25th of November. Then we have training on the 26th of November in South London. Go on social media to find out more. And we have another Black Child Agenda conference in East London on the 2nd of December. So come out, show your support our GoFundMe campaign. If you want to find me, go on any social media and you'll get hold of me.
Hi, I'm Juliet. I'm from Working Action Group, and I'm the CEO and one of the organisers of this protest with Eve and Mr. P from TCTK Media. And the reason why Working Action Group is involved in this protest is because of our project, which is called Action for Equality and Diversity. And this project has been primarily put together because we realised that there was a severe lack in many organisations and institutions with regard to their awareness about equality and diversity, and in fact also their application of equality and diversity and their adherence to the Equality Act and human rights as well. So we were contacted by Tuesday Flanders, who asked us to get in contact with her, and so we did, and she wanted to know about the support that we could give her within the paradigm of our project. So we went about doing that and have been supporting her ever since. And one of the things that we were keen to do was to make the challenge to the policy very visual. So as a result of that, we've created the protest here today so that people can demonstrate to Alan Ebenezer that we think his actions are unlawful. I think that the uniform policy that has been implemented by the school retrospectively is in breach and also in conflict with the Equality Act 2010, and I also think it's a breach of his human rights, and everybody's got human rights within the Human Rights Act, and so that's very concerning for us. So we issued a discrimination notification to the school, giving them the option to access training, workshops, consultation, and also Dr. Wilson's diversity health check. And that would enable the organisation to actually do an evaluation, a self-evaluation about its policies and procedures around equality and diversity. They obviously haven't taken us up on that offer and didn't actually respond to our invitation for support. So that is the reason why we decided to work with Tuesday to raise more awareness about her plight, about the terrible discrimination that her son has faced and terrible treatment that he's faced, that it's going to have long-lasting repercussions for him, and I think, you know, really spoiled his first experience of going into a school. So as a young child, you know, you get really excited about going into secondary school, and I think if this policy had said, you know, no blonde hair, no blue eyes and no Christians, there would have been, you know, outrage. You know, however, conversely, this applies to Rastafarians and this applies to people who wear braids. And our heritage is to carry those styles with our hair. And it's not just about a hairstyle. This is about a tenet of the Rastafarian religion. And everyone has the right to practice their religion. And a school cannot dictate to you whether that is a cult or a religion. And so I feel the school is ultra vires within the context of doing that. I feel that Alan Ebenezer, who I spoke to this morning, needs to really review his policies with his governors. I've advised Tuesday to take this to judicial review in order to challenge the policy and have the policy overturned or reviewed. So that's the reason why we're here, is to let the school be aware that their policies are unlawful, basically, and that's part of our remit within our organisation, is to spread awareness about equality and diversity and people's rights and freedoms within it. You can contact us by phone on 0345 055 9859. That's 0345 055 9859. And we're happy to, you know, contact and talk to you. You can email us as well at info at workingactiongroup.org, and that's info working WORKING action ACTION group group.org. So you can contact us via email. You can go onto our website www.workingactiongroup.org and you know, just give me a call, Juliet. I'm, you know, always free. We deal with a lot of cases of inequality and inclusion issues as well. So we'll be happy to hear from you, and you know, we're happy to support the community, and we provide education, consultation and workshops as well. So if you feel that your workplace or your institution or even your school is in dire need of assistance in this regard, we're happy to help. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a community activist. I'm primarily organised in the Africa Bantu Saturday School, which celebrates our 20th anniversary today. Within this 20 years of organising a Saturday school, which we deliver English, maths, science, stroke, history, black history, African history. Now the reason why we've taken up these subjects, the reason why we have decided to carry out this work is because we recognise fully when Malcolm X describes the education system as the killing fields, it's no joke. And we know for over the years, over the decades, the education system has been failing our children. And so when we look at our black history, just as I was seeing my great brother beside me with the timeline, we tell them that our history did not start in slavery. Our history goes back thousands, tens and 20, 30,000 years ago. And it's from this understanding we inspire our children. We develop their confidence. We develop their self-esteem, which the system does so much to break it down. So for us to come out here today, it's our duty. And so although this young man has been excluded around the issue of his dreadlocks, we see this fall into a very serious pattern of discriminating against us. Not just a failing, but also the exclusion of our children. It's very clear, and we must be very clear on this issue. Is religious and human rights are being violated. Their own laws demonstrate that what they're doing is totally unlawful. But as what we say is that the law for them don't mean much. And so whilst we're getting our legal team to come in, we must also have to focus on our community, and in particularly our Rasta community. Because although it's an issue of locks, it is in fact an issue of our community as a whole. So this for us today is a stepping stone of what we need to be doing as a community to push back this issue of discrimination. But I want to say this. When I say we set up the Saturday school 20 years ago, we're very clear that what the role of the system is. And I've said it over there and I'm going to say it again. The system is responsible for our oppression. We are responsible for our liberation. So yes, we must protest, but we must also put in place institutions of support to do for ourselves, as the Right Honourable Marcus Messiah Garvey to us. Our school right now is under tremendous amount of pressure, financial pressure to survive. And what we're saying is that we need the community support. So please, we got a GoFundMe out there for the school. The Africa Bantu Saturday School ABS says GoFundMe. We want our community to go out there and support. We just have a little snippet on there about what our young people do. But I'm saying what we do for a few hours a week, 3 hours a week, it just shows you what we can do if we add them full times. It's absolutely amazing. I'm proud of our children. I'm proud of our volunteers. We come in every week. We don't get paid. We don't get funded. But the only reason why we support is from our community. So we're urging you, we appeal to our community. Please do support us. We've had a GoFundMe out there for about 3 months now. 3 months, and I don't even think we've had up more than £150 in a month. It's not good enough, brothers and sisters. We can't keep on running down the white man and the system if we don't really do for self. So it's very honored for us as a school to be out here today, and we will be back until we get change. But we must understand, and we must be very clear. We must build a movement with our community that addresses the issues of economics, that addresses the issues of education, that addresses the issues of our young men on the street, this vicious killing what we see that taking place. It's no accident. When you miseducate a young people, when you teach them to hate themselves, then we should not be surprised. We should not be surprised in terms of what we see out there. But again, it's about what we're doing to correct it. It's one thing to complain, but it's the other thing. We've got to develop and support our own community programs. We need our Saturday schools. We need our rites of passage programs. In fact, we need more. We've got a template of supporting our children. And what this means is that we could replicate this in the various different communities and the various different boroughs. I've taken my 7 children through the education system. My last son this year, who came right through the Saturday school, this year has been accepted to study medicine. We've got some great scholars out there who've gone through their system. And sometimes when we use this term white supremacy, we should be a bit careful sometimes the power that what we give the system. Because I want people to understand and know that yes, we must have our own independent school, but don't ever think that this white man out there is so powerful that with right parental support and right community support, we can't navigate our children out there. And we see our Saturday school as an important component of that. So yes, we must have more. But brothers and sisters, no, no wicked, oppressive system is going to help us to fund our own liberation. Okay? They've got their objective, we must have ours. And the critical point our people must understand, we must support our own. We must support our own. But you don't have to convince me, or you don't have to. The issue about Saturday school and foundation schools, we're already doing it, brother. We're not talking about it. We're doing it.
That's right.
Because our community talk too much sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
We're doing it. And it's hard. But we were blessed to go to an occasion this week from the National Association of Black Supplementary Schools. Because in truth, we're based in South London, St. Martin's Community Centre, South Abbots Park, South West 2, 3PW. But there's other schools around. We work also with other foundation schools. We work with the Newby Community Foundation School. We work also with the Cream of Amore. And I tell you something, the Cream of Amore is now virtually collapsing because of the lack of support. One of our first Saturday schools is collapsing. So yes, you can go online, you just Google ABSS, and you should find us there. We've had so much problem, brothers and sisters. And one of them, right, is around actually our website. Because we have to focus so much on the quality of service. Because we don't cut corners when it comes down to supporting our children. The quality of service. And as a result of that, some of the other areas that we'd like to see develop is not as strong as what we'd like to do, including our website. We've had some problems with that, but I'm pretty sure ABSS, Africa Bantu Saturday School, you should be able to get it. And as a matter of fact, let me see, we should have a phone number here, Sophia.
My name is Racial Discrimination. I'm the equality spokesperson for the Green Party of England and Wales. I'm also down here outside of Fulham Boys School, giving support to the family and the activists that are fighting for justice in the case of the young man who was excluded from the school, put in isolation because of his dreadlocks. And that's why we're here today. That's why we're here today. We've been out here from 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock? No, I got here at 9. I got here at 9 o'clock. And we've been out here and it's about 2:30 now. What I would really say about this issue, what's really, really interesting is that people have been coming out, and a lot of it is that they're missing what's really going on here. It's a religious argument. And what you're finding is that you have a Church of England school that is discriminating against a young man on the grounds of his religion. And under the equalities and human rights legislation of this country, you can't do that. So the head teacher of the school, Mr. Ebenezer, as in Scrooge, Mr. Ebenezer has put himself in such a position where he's coming across as being wrong and strong. If you go and consult the website, they're talking about, standing firm and protecting British values. The whole concept of British values is something that came about through the government's prevent strategy. And one of the things that it says in the British values is that you have a respect for the rule of law, but also you respect the rights of the individual. There's individual liberty. So on one level, you can't be talking about British values, and on the other level, you're discriminating someone on the grounds of their religion. It doesn't fit. And if Mr. Ebenezer had any real comprehension of the case in hand and put his ego to one side, he would understand that this is a battle, sir, that you can't win. You can't win this one. And I think that's quite unfortunate that we have to go through these lengths just to get a simple bit of justice. If the young man was a bad behaved pupil, if he was, foul-mouthed, walking with his trousers hanging down his behind, I could understand that. But I met the young man, I interviewed the young man, and he's an angel. He's a very, very, very beautiful young man. But obviously there's something about the dreadlocks that people don't like, the manifestation. So this is just one of the things that's going on in London in 2017. London. Last year or the year before, there was a big case in South Africa where the South African schools were discriminating against the young South African women for having their hair in dreads, for having their hair in braids, for having their hair in natural afros. That was in South Africa. So here we are in London. So this is something that really the school can't win this case here. My name is Racial Discrimination, and I done talk out my talk for today. If you need to contact me regarding any issues, because we're heading back into South London, where we're back on the grind, you can find me at rashid.nix@greenparty.org.uk. For those of you who are watching this broadcast, who for whatever reason it is haven't made it down here, understand this one. No, I'm not shame on you. Understand this one. In London, there's 1.5 million black people living in London. 1.5 million black people living in London. If 70 people or 100 people made it down to this school today, you have to ask yourself, where's the other 1.5 million black people? Now we can go to bashment parties, and we can go to jerk chicken eating festivals, and we can do all kinds of crazy stuff. But when it comes down to the real work, which is dealing with the development of our children, all of a sudden we become very, very busy. And like I said, I had a bag of things to do today, but it was more important that I come down and support the family in their quest for justice for the young man. Because the young man, the way he's being treated is outrageous. They had the young man in isolation. So within the school gates, within those gates there, they had the young man on an internal exclusion in school. It's like a kind of like a grey area. So you don't put him out of school where you have to register it. You keep him within the school, but he's isolated. And in the isolation, they had the young man. They gave him a Bible. Like the Rasta man doesn't know about the Bible. How offensive is that? And how much men have appeared in the Bible who've had locks? From the prophet Isa, Jesus, them same have locks, down to Samson, down to Solomon. So for Mr. Ebenezer to be talking about British values and excluding this young man, discriminating against this young man, Mr. Ebenezer, you need to go and do some reading, sir.
Absolutely.
And you need to find out how the law states the facts and where you are not lined up with the laws of this country. That's British values. My name is Rashid Nix. I'm the equality spokesperson. I don't preach racism. Let's talk about actual facts here. It's not a race issue, in my opinion. It's a religious and a human rights issue. And we need to focus on that. You know, there's a lot of black children in that school that are getting on really well and they're doing their stuff. Keep it on that. Religious, race, you decide. Peace, I'm out of here like I done stole something.